Fellow boys and girls, fairy tales makes us imagine anything. Even if we want to be a handsome prince, or even beautiful princesses. You all know that in this world you would like to live in a world of happily ever after, right? Now, open your eyes. Listen carefully. Not all stories have the same happily ever after ending. Fellow Toastmaster and welcome guests, I will tell you a story that some of you might hear this hundreds of times. But did you notice the lesson inside the story itself? In a far, far away land, there lived a small but beautiful little girl with shiny blonde hair, with lips red as rose, and her eyes blue as the sapphire crystal. She was the only child of an old lady, a rich lady, in a small house in an enchanted forest in Europe. Her name was Red, famously known as Little Red Riding Hood. Her love for her family was strong, that made her really confident, and she did not fear anything that lurks inside the forest near her home. Her house was actually in the middle of the forest, and her grandmother was actually down the road. One day, she was told by her mother to take a small basket full of fruits and juice for her sick grandmother. She immediately went there and took her red hoodie. She walked straight into the dark forest without hesitation. Unfortunately, guys, in the middle of the forest, there is a smiling, big, shiny eyes looking over her. It was the wolf. The wolf actually spoken to her far away in the shadow. And he said, "What is your name, little girl?" And she replied, "It's Red, sir." "Why does a young little girl walking in the middle of a forest with a basket in this really tall environment?" "Well, I've been told by my mother to send this small basket of food and juice for my grandmother down the road." "How nice of you!" As a small little girl, bringing a small basket for her grandmother. "Can I suggest something? Can you add some into the collection, which is a flower for your grandmother?" She immediately took the bait. She went on a different path. She's supposed to go straight. She went searching for the flower instead. The wolf went straight into her grandmother's house, and he immediately struck her like thunder, and he went to bed. She immediately came and knocked on the door and went in. "Dear grandmother, I brought you some fruits and some juice. And a flower." She stopped talking. And she immediately asked, "Dear grandmother, I know you're sick, but what happened to your eyes? It's big." The wolf replied, "It's better to see you like this, my dear little lad." And she asked the question again, "Dear grandmother, what happened to your hand? It's so big." "It's better to hug you with it, my dear." The final question, "My grandmother, what big mouth you have." And he immediately jumped on the scene and he said to this little Red Riding Hood, "It's better for me to eat you with it, my dear." All through this story, guys. In this world, with this kind of story, we learn something from it. A normal story doesn't end with a fairy tale happily ever after. Sometimes it teaches us something. In this story, we can learn 3 parts. 1, don't talk to stranger, unlike Red talking with the wolf. Secondly, do not divert yourself from your true aim. Unlike her, she instead find the flower rather than going straight to her grandmother's house. And lastly, please be aware, if there's a danger in front of you, you need to see it clearly. Unlike Red, she actually ignored it. Rather, she asked a really 3 questions to over. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmaster and welcome guests, even though we live in a peaceful environment, but still people around us is unpredictable. We don't know strangers. Because sometimes people actually waited for for us to do mistakes. And they're actually lurking behind us until they see that we are careless, and they will eventually strike. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.